Last week, I introduced an amendment to the American Energy Innovation Act. My amendment addresses a critical shortcoming with whistleblower protections currently available to power sector employees and those who are responsible for maintaining and securing our nation's electric grid. For those who are unfamiliar, the electric grid is managed by a patchwork of public and private entities. Unfortunately, that means patchy coverage for energy sector employees under our current whistleblower protection laws. Federal workers are covered under the Whistleblower Protection Act, but other workers have to rely on state and local laws for protection if they exist. For many on the front lines, these whistleblower protection laws don't exist. Just last year, according to a news report, power company employees raised concerns about equipment introduced to improve efficiency that they believed posed a threat to starting wildfires. And I hope we all remember the fires in California. I think 1 and 2 years ago, or 2 and 3 years ago, but terrible destruction, terrible loss of life. 85 employees, or 85 people in California, I think, lost their lives because of that type of fire. One of these employees raised this concern about the threat of this equipment starting wildfires. And it was reported that he was fired for simply blowing the whistle. Now, if it turns out that the employee was fired for blowing the whistle in the interest of public safety, that should be unacceptable to all of us. As a country, we should be encouraging whistleblowers who know the threats to the security of our electric grid. We want them to come forward. We want them to report what they know. We owe it to them then to ensure that when they so do, they'll be protected. In other words, not lose their job. Isn't that kind of common sense? And that's exactly what my amendment does. My amendment makes it clear that power sector employees who report threats to our electric grid are protected from retaliation. And so then, if they are fired, they can file a complaint with the U.S. Secretary of Labor. In that regard, this amendment brings whistleblower protections for energy sector employees in line with more than a dozen other whistleblower laws established by the Congress in recent years, and I've been involved in a lot of those whistleblower protection laws. Now, next week is Sunshine Week, a time when we celebrate the importance of transparency and accountability in government, because with transparency, you get accountability, and the public's business ought to be public, and the protection of our citizens from forest fires that result as a result of bad equipment that electric companies are using. And if you report that unsafe conditions, you shouldn't be fired for it. When we think about securing our electric grid, sunlight and transparency brings accountability, but they also bring attention to potential risks to our public safety and to our national security. They can potentially save lives. That's something that I'm certain we can all get behind and should be behind. And I have to be very thankful to Senator Markey for co-sponsoring the amendment and for his support of this amendment. I strongly encourage all of my colleagues to support this amendment as well.